What the hell?
Supreme Court of the United States of America has got some pretty serious things they're fixing to decide. Number one, the Alien Enemies Act. We had a federal district judge named Stephanie Haynes who has declared the Tren de Agula as pirates and are subject to the Alien Enemies Act. This is going to be in front of SCOTUS here pretty soon, but as it stands right now, yeah, you can deport these guys.
Yeah.
No, nothing.
What do you mean, no nothing?
No due process.
No decision. No decision yet.
No due process for the time being. Yeah, you can deport these guys. It'll be in front of SCOTUS.
And if they change it, guess what?
What?
Trump will deny it.
Well,
Trump will say, "I'm not doing it."
Yeah.
What are you going to do to me?
Probably.
And you know, he is the executive branch. And the executive branch does not have to do everything that the Supreme Court tells them to do.
This is the so-called constitutional crisis that the Democrats
it's not in the Constitution. Exactly.
It's not in the Constitution.
Exactly.
It happens I have a copy here.
And you know it, and so do I.
Okay, let's talk about birthright citizen, because this is the one that's going to blow up in their face.
Yeah.
Birthright citizenship. If you read that clause, it says, and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Are illegal aliens subject to the jurisdiction of the United States of America? They are not. Their loyalty is to their home country.
Right.
At least temporarily. Now, the birthright citizenship thing by itself is not a big deal, but the federal district courts that have issued injunctions that are nationwide injunctions are a big deal. And that's why this is sitting in front of the Supreme Court. Let's look at the structure just for a minute. This is Article 3 of the Constitution, how our courts are settled, how our courts are stacked up. We have district federal judges,
a lot of them,
that are the bottom end of the federal judiciary.
Right.
Above them are circuit courts, typically of appeals, and above them the Supreme Court.
Right.
That's the hierarchy, okay? By the way, that's not mentioned that way in the Constitution. That is the way this thing has evolved into the current system. So, do you let a judge who is at the bottom end of the food chain issue injunctions that are nationwide?
Yeah.
What he should be doing is issuing injunctions that apply only to the parties that are involved locally.
That's true.
That is as it should be.
It's not. That's not. Neither of those are in the Constitution.
They are not.
But that means it's unconstitutional for these judges to be telling the whole country what to do. They're pretending like they're presidents.
That is exactly why this is in front of the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Because depending on how the Supremes react to this thing and how they vote, remember there's 9 votes there. It's got to be 5-4 or better.
That's right.
I think the Supremes are going to say, federal district judge, you're at the bottom of the food chain.
Yeah.
You're a single individual. On the circuit court level, if you do en banc, you got 3 circuit court judges. 2 of the 3 have to agree for an injunction to be withheld at circuit court level. So you're giving the guy at the bottom of the food chain who has the absolute least amount of stroke the capability of offsetting executive orders done by the executive branch, by the commander-in-chief of this country. Yeah. It's wrong, isn't it? It smells wrong. It looks wrong.
Well, it'll break up the whole country.
You know, ultimately,
who's going to be running the country?
Well, some judge
as.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have every county have. It would be a complete, utter killing of this country.
It turns the country into chaos.
Chaos, right?
And of course, that's what the Democrats would like to have, is chaos.
Sure.
They thrive on that.
Well, they're in it right
I
now.
think the way this is presented to the Supremes is ultimately very important, and I think it is currently being. Let me get the guy's name. Solicitor General D. John Sauer. has made a pretty good argument, oral argument so far in front of the Supremes that says what you and I just outlined. Yeah. This turns into chaos, and we have little dictators in federal judge positions that are dictating policy for the country, at least, but de facto.
Even dictating what the Supreme Court is going to do.
So
now,
how are the judges going to vote on this thing?
5-4.
Probably 5-4.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And all 4 of them are going to be women.
Well, we'll take 5-4, Dave.
We'll take it.
We'll take it.
We'll take it.
I think ultimately the Supremes are going to vote on the side of Donald J. Trump in that district court judges shall have power only in their district, not nationwide. You cannot issue nationwide injunctions, which violates separation of powers.
You can get stuff changed in the Constitution by voting it in, can't you?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And if that is necessary, then that needs to be done.
But without the support right now, that would not happen because you need a multiple.
Ain't going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So the Supreme Court is going to be ruling against themselves.
Well, they're going to be ruling against the district courts.
Well, they're going to be ruling against, if they let this through, they're going to be ruling against what's in the Constitution.
Indeed. And recognize that what's in the Constitution is very basic. All of this stuff has evolved from those relatively simple concepts that are written in the Constitution. Yeah. So this is a big deal, and I'm sure we'll be talking about this again next Friday, that what the Supremes do on this is going to have a considerable impact on how our country is run.
Yeah.
And I think the executive branch needs to have all the power they can get, at least in this regime.